In today's video, we look at some of the reasons why people that go abroad never come back home, or rather, reasons why. And I'm going to be focusing on people like Africans, why Africans living abroad, the reasons that prevent them from moving back home. If you are seeing my face for the first time, welcome. My name is Eva Mtali. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for all the support. I appreciate your time. So guys, this is one of the messages that one of my subscribers sent me. They're like, oh Eva, I really want to move abroad, but I'm worried that if I go, I may not come back, because I have seen a lot of Africans go abroad and then they never come back home. What would be the reason? And I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why, or rather some of the factors that prevent Africans who are living abroad from moving back to their home country. And some of them is not even temporarily. Somebody has never come back to their home country in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And I'm just going to look at some of those reasons. And the reason I am sharing this is because there's a lot of you guys who watch me and are interested in moving abroad, and it's just important for us to talk about some of those realities. So the number one reason why Africans living abroad do not come back home is because the main reason most of the Africans moved from their home country was for the economic benefits that their new country was providing them. So most of them are waiting to accumulate enough capital so that they can take care of themselves, take care of you guys, take care of black tax, be able to contribute to their fair share of black tax. And unfortunately, most of them never reach that goal, and so they decide to just stay away. Another reason that prevents Africans living abroad from moving back home is because of social media. So a lot of them actually don't live those lives you see on social media, and therefore they are scared if they came back home, then this reality could come to light. Number three reason why Africans living abroad do not come back home is because of habits, impressions, cultures, and their worldview. So some of them have stayed away for so long that they cannot even relate with the habits and cultures in their home country where they left. Some of them left when they were very young, and now they're so much older and they just can't relate. So another reason is because, as I said, most of those who moved away, they moved away because of their economic situation. They wanted to give a better life for their children, for their wives, for their husbands. So it's ridiculous to move back to where they left. And the reason they left is because maybe they were poorer back then, and it just doesn't make sense for them to come back to that poorer situation. And then because they moved in the first place to give their children a better life, a better chance in life. So bringing them back, maybe it's going to be just difficult for them to even find a job or even to set up business. So yeah. And then in relation to point number three, moving is never simple. Many have already lost their support group. And guys, this is something I keep talking about in the channel. If you ever decide to leave your country and you have a plan to come back, so personally what I do every 3 months, like I will never stay out of Kenya for more than 3 months, because Kenya is where I want to settle. I have made that decision, having traveled and visited more than 100 countries around the world. I have just purposed in my heart that Kenya is the perfect place for me to retire in. And therefore, ever since I left the country and started traveling in 2009, I have never stayed out of my country for more than 3 months. And the reason is because I need to be in touch with the happenings in the country. I need to be in touch with my support group. I need to be in touch with the legal framework. I need to be in touch with just everything, including the language, guys. You will not believe it, but the language has changed significantly. And even the music has changed. So a lot of people, because they stay away for too long, they lose their social networks. They lose just the whole vibe about their home country. So it's too much effort to come back. And some of them, for example, like those who moved to Europe, they had to learn a new language perhaps, yeah? So they're just like, I've spent like 5 years, 7 years, 10 years trying to learn German or to learn the Finnish language or the Swedish language. If I come back, where am I going to use this language? So they're just like, it's just too much effort I've already spent, and I may as well just stay, okay? And then the other factor that prevents Africans from coming back to their home country is that people are not just individuals. They have their partners, they have their kids who are probably in school, or their partners are working. So the whole decision to come back home involves like somebody beyond them. Like there's a whole group that needs to be consulted. And sometimes like the kids might not be interested in coming back, your partner might not be interested in coming back, you may not be interested in coming back. So people are just like, you know what, I may as well just stay. Another reason why people choose not to come back home, related to point number 6, is, so I know, for example, there's somebody I know who used to live in the UK with his wife, and all his kids plus grandkids are in the UK. So they had built a home in Kenya, and then they planned to relocate back home. But unfortunately, so the wife was, I think, 59 years old, so they were just waiting for her to get to 60 so that she could retire, and then they come back home. So unfortunately, she died this year when she was 59 years old. So this guy was like, why am I even coming back to Kenya? Coming back to what? Because my wife is dead. So they even buried, he was like, I'm even gonna bury my wife here in the UK. So he buried his wife in the UK, and he was just like, I'm not going back home. So that's another reason. When people are widowed, they are just like, you know what, I can't go and start a new life by myself. I may as well just stay here with the familia and also wait to die or whatever. Another reason why people are not, Africans who go abroad do not relocate back home or do not come back home at all, is for political reasons. So for example, you may find in their country there was a coup, and therefore they ended up being ostracized or ended up being refugees without a job, without anything. And then they decided to move to another country that was safer and much better for them. So even just the trauma of thinking of what they went through in their home country, they just can't. Related to this are people who choose to leave their country when, maybe for economic reasons, but they decide to go and seek asylum in another country. And usually, especially if your country is not at war, like we're talking about total war, it's not easy to get asylum. So even the countries that you run to will not prioritize your case. So I know people who have been in Canada for like, I don't know, 7 years, still waiting for their asylum cases to be decided. There's people who've been in the US for more than 20 years, still waiting for their asylum cases to be heard. So there are all those cases where somebody goes to seek asylum in another country, but they don't have a strong case because it's not strong. So it just takes forever. And remember, once you get into the country, if you ever decide to leave, they will never let you back in. Another reason related to this is people who go to, let's say, to the US or to Canada or to UK or Australia, and then they overstay their visas. So once they overstay their visa, they're like, you know what, since I've already overstayed, so they lack status, they lack legal status. So in such a case, they're gonna resort to just doing under the table jobs, which don't pay too well either. So they're stuck in a limbo where they can't get legal papers to work because they are illegals in the country where they are. So they're stuck at jobs that can hire only illegal people, and these jobs don't pay a lot of money. And then they can't come back home either, because should they leave the country where they are, then they'll never be allowed to go back. So people decide, you know what, I may as well just cut my losses and stay. So you find a lot of people, illegal immigrants, stuck in not very well paying jobs because they don't have options. And it even becomes difficult to even pursue further studies because where's the money to do that? Another reason why Africans who move abroad do not come back to their home country is bills, guys. Hey, as much as you may have seen people flashing around how much money they make in whatever country they are, trust me, the bills they have to pay matches that perfectly. So bills, 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 bills. And then for most of these countries, you only get paid on the days that you work. So most people figure out, like, you know what, I may as well just stay here and pay bills until I die. So that's another reason why people choose not to come back home. Another reason why people are not able to come back home once they move abroad is because they have been away for so long that the country they left is different from the one they want to come back to. So they're just like, I can't even, let me just stay. But another reason almost related to this is the person who left the country is different from the one who was to come back. So they decide to just stay where they are. And then last but not least, the reason why people who move, Africans, especially Africans who move abroad, do not come back home to their country is because of the inefficiency. So most of the countries in the continent operate so inefficiently that if you are already used to efficiency, you're just gonna run mad if you're not the type of person who can adjust very easily. So for example, if you want to, let's say you decide to come back home and you wanna live in the village, for example, you don't wanna live the city life. Just to have your house connected to the grid, you're gonna have to like bribe 1,001 people. If you want to get anything done, you need a certificate of good conduct in a government office, you have to bribe. You need your passport renewed, you have to bribe. Like, you literally, nothing functions, especially government systems. If you need a job, you have to bribe. Like, sometimes, especially in the villages, you could be having blackouts for 2 weeks continuously. There are days in Kenya, for example, where we can have blackouts in the whole country at the same time for like an hour. So all those inefficiencies, if you've been in an economy where things work to the clock, it becomes difficult. Here you go to the hospital, sometimes they don't have this drug, they don't have that drug. The doctors are on strike. The taps are running dry, and it's just so much drama. People are just like, I can't. Let me just stay with the familiar. So guys, those are some of the reasons why people choose not to come back home, even though they may want to. So I just thought to share this video so that in case anybody is planning to relocate, you may need to factor in some of these issues. And like personally, the game plan I use, I never stay out of the country for more than 3 months. So it still feels like I am in the country because I'm not away for too long to miss these developments and inefficiencies, but also I am not away for too long to get too much accustomed to this other life that I am not interested in. So guys, thank you very much for staying to the end. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a sweet comment below, and share. If you're not yet subscribed, do subscribe, and make sure to also hit the notification bell. It is on the right hand side of the subscribe button. And guys, we are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Guys, please give me this as my birthday gift before my birthday, and I will be so grateful to you all. So thank you all. I will see you on the next one. Bye.